Hello, everybody. Welcome to this webinar. We are going to start in a few minutes. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us, taking this time to listen a little bit more about Pylon Tech and the technology that it brings. We are going to start our presentation talking a little bit more about Mako Solar. We focus on the distribution of solar equipment. We are currently distributing in 20 countries around the Caribbean and Central and South America. We do not install or develop or do anything else but distribution. So that's like our main objective. We come from a very traditional and a company that has been in the market for a while now. We come from Mako, which was founded in 1922. It's a wholesale distribution company that has 7 different commercial divisions. Mako Solar is the latest division. Mako has more than 900 employees, more than 40,000 B2B clients, and more than 10,300 SKUs. And as I mentioned, we are the 7th commercial division. We've been in the market for around 8 years now. Why work with us? We have several warehouses around the region. We actually opened our 5th warehouse some months ago. We have tier 1 brands, and we are very flexible also with our logistics. We can deliver in the Incoterm that is of your preference. And of course, because of the geographical location is very, we have some advantage to deliver fast and to be able to meet the requirements that you have in terms of equipment, of solar equipment. So these are our warehouses. As I mentioned, we have 5 international warehouses. We have 1 in Miami, 1 in Dominican Republic, 1 in Puerto Rico, which is only for the Puerto Rican market, 1 in Panama, and our latest warehouse is in Guatemala. This is the brands that we work with. As you can see, they are all tier 1 brands. We try to work with the best quality in the market. So of course, and also it's important to highlight that we have the whole solution. The objective also is for you to make your work easier in terms of not having to speak to different suppliers, but only with one that can provide you the whole system. So this is basically a general presentation of our company. I am going to leave you here our contact details. This is me, Maria Paula Mendez. Then we have Natalia Ruiz. She is the international sales executive for the Caribbean, for all the islands, except for Barbados. Maria Fernanda Lopez is the international sales executive for Barbados. So having said that, I'm going to open the invitation for Victor to continue with the presentation with Pylon Tech.
Hi, good afternoon to everybody. Thanks so much, Maria. And I'm gonna start my presentation. So let me share my screen. I just need you to stop sharing so I can put my slides, please. Thank you. So good afternoon to everybody. I'm Victor San Roman. I'm an engineer from Pylon Tech for tech support in the Latin America region, from Mexico, Caribbean, Central America, and South America. So today I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about our company, our history, our position in the market of storage, and also the solutions we have with Mako Solar. So thanks so much for your time, and if you have any questions, please ask them in the chat, and we can try to solve them at the end of the presentation. So yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about the company, the US series, that is the series that we work with Mako, and we can solve the questions you have. So if we see the history of Pylontech, we are a company that has 10 years of experience in the market. We were founded in 2009, but we started to sell battery storage systems in 2013. In 2014, we started mass production in the Australia region and European market. In 2015, we had a domestic rig scale deployment. So we started to focus a lot in domestic residential solutions. And in 2018, we had shipped over 1 gigawatt hour of these storage systems. So in 2019, we have 1.5 gigawatt capacity to keep manufacturing the batteries. And in 2020, we were listed on the SSE stock market. That is, the company became public in China. So in 2021, we were one of the top 2 residential suppliers globally. So we are very, very big in this matter. So in 2022, we had over 1 million of energy storage system shipped around the world. So we have over 1 million of these projects working. It could be residential, it could be commercial or industrial, or it could be big scale. So we have a lot of customers around the world. And 2023, we had it's our first factory in Europe. So we're starting to grow very, very big in the world. Like we have right now presence in all the world. I will show you some examples of some projects we have, or some of the continents we serve. So in the overview of our company, we have our factories in China, and also our headquarters in the Shanghai region. So we have served over 80 countries around the world. As I said before, we have over 1 million systems, residential and around the world. We have the capacity of 8.5 gigawatt hour. Each month we can produce that quantity of batteries. We have over 238 independently developed patents. So we have a lot of investigation. Also, 6.35% of our incomes goes to the research and development investment. So we are all the time working in new solutions, in new products that have more efficiency for customers. So we are a company that we are trying to grow in the market. We try to serve the best solutions for our customers. Also, one thing that's very important with Pylontech is that we are the manufacturer of all the components in the system. We start with the cell. We also do the BMS, that is the battery management system. That's like the computer, the brain of the battery, that tells us how's the battery working, like which state it is, how much capacity it has, if it has any error, if how's the I don't know, the situation with the battery. We go from there to the battery module, that's a whole battery, and also the battery system, going up to the container, that it could be a very big system. So we are like the manufacturer of everything, so we don't have to search for another supplier to do something for us. So we can be 100% sure that our batteries are our responsibility, and if there's any issue with the battery, we can take the responsibility of that battery. So we don't have to give any blame to any other supplier. So yeah, currently our products have a 10-year warranty, and also we have the 10 years of experience. Also, I will show you that we have, we have certifications around the world, Most importantly, at least in America, the most important is the UL. We have certifications of the UL for products, but also we have the IAC for Europe, the TÜV Rheinland for Germany. Also, we have some certifications for Japan. So yeah, we work in certifications all the time. So our batteries can be like enter any market and with any requirements. There are markets that doesn't ask for certifications until this day, but there are others like United States that ask for certifications. So we have everything prepared so our batteries can come into the market. Also very important, we have this test that was made by ITP, that is a laboratory in Australia that did this comparison of different manufacturers of batteries. As you can see, it was BioNTech, LG, GMB, Tesla, and BYD. And the batteries began to work. And in the matter of time, some batteries had like a state of health that was dropping, and others just simply stopped. So if you see BioNTech is the one that it's dark blue, is the battery that stayed the most time, over 2,500 cycles. But other batteries didn't have so much time, so they have failures or they just stopped working. So yeah, we have this test from different laboratories. It's not just us. We have other authorities doing tests for us, so we can warranty. So you will have a battery that is working and that is very, very efficient. Here we have this, how to say, it's like a timetable where we can see all these batteries that were put on the test, the failures they show, which errors it had. And if you see BioNTech that is in the red square, you can see we didn't have any issue. Like any other manufacturers had those alarms, are the red boxes that you can see. They had some issues, but our battery didn't have any. Also GMB, but as you can see before, GMB dropped a lot in the state of health. So the efficiency of the battery became really, really low in the matter of between 1,500 cycles to 2,000. So our battery stayed over around 80% efficiency over the 2,500 cycles. So yeah, we against any competition, we have very, very good performance. Also, our market growth has been really, really strong in the last years. As you can see, in the first year, we have small growing, but starting in 2019, our market started to grow because the storage systems become more popular, more people ask for them. So we have a very, very big growth. And currently we're expecting to grow more and more in the next years around the world. So that's why we are making our teams bigger. That's why I'm joining them, because I will be support specifically just for Latin American region, and they want to have people from Europe, from Australia, from Japan, etc. So BioNTech can give best support to all the customers we have. So yeah, we are having very, very big market share in the global market. Also, some of the regions we are selling is North America, Latin America, Pacific, Asia, Europe, and Africa. So we have our systems around the world. Like, as I said before, over 1 million of residential storage systems and over 80 countries in the world. Some of our products that in the big catalog, you will see the rack mount batteries. That's the batteries we want to talk, is the US series, but also we have a high voltage series, another that are low voltage, and also for CNI. But in this case, we're just gonna talk about the US series. Also very important with our batteries, we have very high compatibility with many inverters. As you can see in this image, we have compatibility with Solis, with Victron, with SMA, with GUI, and also we have the QR code that you can scan and you can see the full list of all the inverters that are compatible with our batteries. It's very important that if you work with one kind of inverter, you have to be sure that it's compatible with our batteries, because if you choose an inverter that we are not approving to be compatible, you will be out of warranty. So you need to be sure that the inverter that you work with the Pylon batteries is in this list, and we are making upgrades to this list every year. So it's important that if you buy a battery with Mako, you can buy also the inverter with them, and to be sure that inverter you are buying is compatible, so you can stay sure that the batteries will work. You won't have any issue in terms of warranty in the coming years. Here we have the logic of the system, where we have the solar panels, the inverter, the battery energy storage system, the load, maybe a charger for electronic vehicle, and also the grid. But this can change if the system is off grid, it doesn't matter. So we have here in all the models we have, but currently with Mako, the two models that we are selling the most is the US 3000C and the US 5000. These two are batteries for low voltage. So these are 48 volts. These batteries just connect in parallel. So all the batteries in this series just go in parallel. So you cannot connect them in series, because you cannot like make bigger the voltage, just the amperage. So the current. So in this case, all these batteries just can connect in parallel. In the case of the US 3000C, it's a battery of 3.5 kilowatt hour, and the US 5000 is 4.8. These two batteries have the depth of discharge of 95%, so you can use mostly almost everything in the battery. It's important that these batteries are not that heavy. The US 3000C is 32 kilograms, and the US 5000 is 40. So these batteries can be installed by a couple of technicians, and there's no issue. The voltage of these batteries goes from 44.5 to 53.5. So we have to deal with also with a low voltage inverter. The current of these batteries, the recommended in the US 3000C is 37 amps, and in the US 5000 is 80 amps. But it can go into a peak of a top of 15 seconds over 200 amps. But if you need a bigger discharges, it's better to have more batteries. So these batteries also can be connected in communication. In the case of these two models, the US 3000C and US 5000, you can connect up to 16 batteries just with the communication cables that we deliver with the battery. But in the case that you have more batteries, we have another equipment that you can also use, and you can make even bigger storage solutions. Also very important, the life cycles of these batteries. It's kind of all this table, but currently we are saying that we have over 8,000 cycles. Remember that a cycle is a full charge and discharge of the battery, so it doesn't go with time. It's more of the use that you give to the battery. This battery can be charged and discharged once a day, or it can be once a week or once a month. So it depends on how much do you use how often do you use this battery. So the time can go from less to more. It depends on the use you have. Also, as I told you, the certifications, we have the IEC, that's for the European market, and the UL, that's for the American market. So these batteries can work like anywhere in the world without any issue. So what do you need with these batteries? You need the battery module, and also the current cables, the power cables that you can see. These power cables are from positive to negative. These are 2 meters, more or less. And with this, you can connect to the inverter or a bus bar or whatever, but you will need a couple of these ones. Also, you will need the small cables that to connect the batteries in parallel, but these are included in the battery and also you will need the communication cable. We deliver a small communication cable that you can connect to the batteries in the rack. Also, we have the earth cable for protection, and you can ground your battery system into your grounding in your installation. So these are the external cables that are 2 meters, and also the communication cables. We have a couple. There's one with the blue mark. Is mostly for some inverters, but it's important that depending on the inverter that you're working on, you have to see what type of communication it needs, because some inverters have their own cable, like in the case of Victron, they have their own cable, and other inverters can work with the blue cable that we send. Also, we have another cable that has a silver mark. This is for just battery to battery. It's the communication from pin 1 to pin 8. It's like an Ethernet cable for internet. So it's pretty common, but you can use this if you have like the battery racks separate from one another and you need more distance, you can use this cable without any issue. So here are all the components that we said: the battery, the cables. Also, well, in the case of an installation, you will need a multimeter and other tools. And in this case, we are showing the Victron inverter. So if you see the front interface of the US 5000 battery, you will see the power switch, the ADD that are the protocols for the battery. You can modify them, but it also depends on the inverter that you're working. Some inverters doesn't need to have any modification in the ADD, so you can just leave them all off, and just with the communication cable, you can connect the battery. The dry contact terminal, the CAN boost, and also the link port. So the CAN port, you can connect mostly with inverters, and in the link port, you can connect from one battery to another. We will tell you how you connect them in the case that you have a bigger rack. So you also have the grounding point. The start button is different from the power switch. So you first turn on the power switch and then the start button, and the battery will start to run. We have also the console port, the run LED, that it's the light that shows if the battery it's working, it's on. The alarm in the case that we have any issue, and the state of charge LEDs that can go from less to more depending on the state of charge of the battery. Also, we have the power terminals for positive and negative. We have a couple, so you can connect in parallel, but also you will need one terminal free when you connect to the inverter. So you can see the installation. It can be in a rack, or it can be with the brackets. So these batteries are mostly for indoor installation. These batteries cannot handle like water or rain or whatever. It had to be inside a room. It's better because if these batteries have contact with water or rain, they can be damaged and it will be out of warranty. So remember that the US series has to be installed indoor. So here you see how it works. You have the batteries, you have the cables for that, small cables that are for parallel connection, and also the long cables that go for the inverter or the bus bar. Also the grounding cables from one battery to another, and you can go to the grounding point of your installation. Here is how you connect one battery to another. As I told you before, we have the link port. It's important that we have a battery system that has many modules. The master battery has to be the one with the link port 0 empty. This will be the only battery with this port empty, and it will be the master. All the other slave batteries will have to connect from link port 1 to link port 0, and so on. So it's important to have this. Also, the communication to the inverter, it can be by the CAN port or the RS485. And also remember, with these cables, you can connect up to 16 batteries. If you have more, we can use another device. So here, this one, a small example with another module that is US 2000. That's a smaller module. But in this case, you have to see how many batteries the power cables can handle. Mostly with the US3000, we can handle up to 4 batteries with the power cables. We can have more by communication, but by power cable, we just can use, like in the case of US3000, the 4, because the current of these cables are up to 100 amps. So if we connect a lot of batteries with just a couple of cables, we can damage these cables. But also we can use a couple of like 4 cables for, say, 2 for positive, 2 for negative, if our current is bigger, so we can share this current. This is a small example with another series, but in the case of the US3000, is recommended a couple of cables, each 4 batteries, and in the US5000, just 2 batteries for every couple of cables of power cables. Also, how you install them, you have the surface of the battery where you can put inside a rack, and you can put screws, so you can adjust the battery in the rack. Also the grounding point where you can install with a screw, and also the grounding cables. How you power on a battery, as I told you before, you first turn on the switch. If you have like say 5 batteries, you turn on the switch of all of them, but just the master battery, once all the batteries are connected in communication, you turn on the SW button that starts the master battery, and the master battery will give the signal to all the other batteries to run. So that's the step to turn on the batteries. And also, if you have a lot of battery racks that goes different batteries, like many different groups, you can have one master battery that goes to turn on all the other batteries. So yeah, we can do this. It doesn't matter how big is the system. Just in the case that's more of 16 batteries, we have this other device that I will tell you in just a couple of minutes. How you turn off these batteries, you just turn the switch to off of all the batteries, and the master battery also turn on the SW. But it's first the SW and then the switches, and that's how the batteries turn off. Also, we have the LEDs, what they are saying. If the battery is power up, we don't see any LED. If the power of the battery is on, you will see the run, or maybe the alarm if it has any issue. If it's idle or normal, it will be just run. If it's charging, it will the LED will flash like every 0.5 seconds. It depends on what's happening in the battery, but also it's important that we connect to a battery with an inverter. The inverter can give us the information of the battery. Like we can see the state of charge of the battery, if the battery has any alarms, etc. So that's why it's important to connect this battery with compatible inverters, because if we connect these batteries to an inverter that doesn't have communication, the battery will be like will not be using the BMS, and the BMS is important part of the battery because it gives us a lot of information, and it gives the battery more chance to work in bigger time. So it's better to have this communication. But also, if we want, we can check the LED status, and also in the manual you can check what it means in any case. Now, as I told you before, if we have more than 16 modules, we will need another device. This device is called LV Hub. This LV Hub can connect these different battery groups, and the HL LV Hub can connect up to 80 batteries. So if you have more than 16, you can use this one, and with this LV Hub, you will communicate all of the batteries in your system. So the LV Hub will be like the master device, and this will be connected to the inverter. Of course, it will have to be a bigger installation, a little bit more complex, but we can use this device to have bigger installations or more capacity in the battery modules. And here you can see how it works in the interior cabinet installation. Also have the exterior cabinet where you can put the cables in the upper face of the cabinet. Also, we have the brackets that you can install the batteries horizontal or also vertical. It doesn't matter the way you install them. The batteries will work anyway, but these brackets are easier and are cheaper than the cabinet. But of course, if we use this solution, it will have to be indoor, because remember that these batteries cannot handle water or whatever, so they have to be protected by a room. Also, the 19 inches rack, that's very popular. These are I think the most used ones, at least in Latin America. So in this case, it's easier. You just put the batteries. It's like other computer equipment, and these racks doesn't have to be special racks. It can be server racks, and you can make the installation in this without any issue. You can also search for these racks with your local supplier. Also, we have very good communication with Victron inverters, and here you can see a diagram of the communication cables and also the power cables, where we are using the battery modules, DC distribution, MPPT, the inverter, that's the multiplus, and the color control, that it's the communication device of the Victron equipment. So yeah, in this case, we have a very successful history with Victron. Our batteries have very good efficiency with them, but there's an example of one of the best brands that we can work with. Also, the communication. It's important that in this case, Victron has their own cable, so you won't be using the Palantec cable. You will be using the V-CAN to CAN boost type A cable from Victron. So you have to buy that from Victron. It's not from us, but the communication is perfect. We don't have any issue with them. And here is a small step-by-step configuration. I won't put much time in this, because it depends, it's more of the installation process, but you can have all this information in the Victron pages. You just have to search in Google Victron plus Palantec, and it will send you to a specific web page where you can see the step-by-step, all the parameters that you have to introduce. And it's very easy to do it when you have the equipment installed and to do the step-by-step. And some of our successful projects, we have this in I think it's Australia's off-grid system is 168 kilowatt hours. It was installed last year, and it's working with solar panels. So this is a completely off-grid system that is for self-consumption. So we see all the inverters, the MPPTs, and the batteries. And also we have this one in Europe, is a microgrid. In this case, also for self-consumption, is from 2021. There's just a couple of projects. We have projects in North America, we have projects in Mexico, we have projects in South America. So also you can ask for Mako of their successful projects in the past, so they can show you what their customers have done with our systems, with inverters, with batteries. So as you can see, the battery modules can go from one battery to over 400 batteries. So you can have a lot of storage in your system, but it will depending on how much do you need and what's the application. If it's residential, maybe it will be smaller. If it's commercial, industrial, of course it will be bigger. But there are these some of our projects that we have. Also, remember, we have over 1 million systems around the world, and here you can see we have compatibility with different brands. It could be Solis, it can be SMA, it can be Victron, it can be Solarc. So there's no any issue. You can search for different options of inverters, and a lot of them, mostly the bigger brands, have compatibility. But just remember to search for the compatibility list that I showed you before in the QR code. Also, you can find it on Google. I also, if you need it, I can send it to Mako so they can share it with you. So you can be sure when you buy an inverter, it's compatible with our batteries. And that will be it from my part. Here you have a couple of QR codes to if you want to visit Palantec's website, and also if you want to join Palantec mailing list. And I don't know if there's any questions that we have, so we can start answering. But thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Victor, for your time, also for your explanation. I think it's a good webinar. It's our first webinar with Pilontech, with all these things in lithium batteries. So thank you to the people who join us to this webinar. I don't see any question right now, but I'm going to share my screen one more time. Remember that we can be part of your solar projects. Here we have our contact, Maria Paula Mendez, Natalia Ruiz, Maria Fernanda Lopez. That is our commercial team for the Caribbean, who is going to be in charge of every requirement that you have. Well, I don't have anything else. Say thank you to the Pilontech team, to Victor for joining us to this webinar. I really appreciate your time. And all this information I'm going to send you to the email that you registered to this webinar. And yeah, that's all. Thank you a lot, Victor.
Thank you so much to you and to Maria Paula for your time, and to Meiko and all of the customers that joined the webinar. Hope it helped with you with some, so to know more about Pilontech. But was a pleasure, and hope to see you in the future.
Yeah, I hope to see you soon. See you very soon. And yeah, let's be attentive to the next webinars that we are going to have to this end of the year. Yeah, thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye-bye.